I want to welcome everybody to, as the slide just indicated, the 5th annual Building Brothers presentation presented by the Kansas Fraternity Landlords League. For those of you new to the University of Kansas, which should be most of you, we want to welcome you to campus, welcome you to your houses. Just a brief introduction as to who and what KIFL is. You all are tenants in various fraternity houses that are owned by house corporation boards that are owned by the alumni from various chapters. Those house corporation boards own and operate the houses and are in effect your landlords. And about 6 years ago, 11 of the larger houses at the University of Kansas got together, those house corporation boards, and have a group called Kansas Fraternity Landlords League. They get together, representatives meet monthly to discuss issues that affect all of the fraternities, all of the owners of those properties, ways that we can make your experience better, ways that we can maximize the business operations of those parcels of real estate. And most of the time, those interests intersect. Occasionally, they do not. We want to present some information for those of you new to the campus to help your transition into fraternity life go smoothly so that all of us have fewer problems and can enjoy your time at KU and your time in the various houses. So without further ado, we have some other introductions for you from some former Greek, now alumni, and we'll turn it over to those folks to give you a welcome.
Hey everyone, I'm John Holt from Fox 4 News with great news and congratulations. You made it to one of the best college campuses in America. Welcome to the University of Kansas, and I may be a little biased, a two-time KU graduate. Hey, and one more thing, you're also part of a fantastic Greek system. How do I know? Well, as a young lad coming out of central Kansas, a small town, Great Bend, I didn't know many folks at the university, but living in a fraternity allowed me to network with guys from all over the country, to learn all sorts of skills from time management. We were involved in athletics, philanthropy, and oh yeah, we had a little fun too. What a great experience and so much fun. I stayed all 4 years of my undergrad career at KU. So embrace Greek life. You're very fortunate. Enjoy. And again, welcome to the University of Kansas. Now, embrace it and go have fun. Rock chalk.
Hi, everyone. This is Kevin Harlan of CBS Sports and the NBA on TNT, congratulating all of you on being accepted to the University of Kansas and getting involved in the Greek system. The Greek system for me was a terrific 4-year run. I met friends there that I eventually had in my wedding. I was in their weddings, and they'll be friends until my last breath. The one thing about the Greek system is it teaches you to be a part of something greater than yourself. You'll learn many life lessons. You'll be involved in great activities. And my only suggestion is be present in everything you do. Don't look to your left and don't look to your right, but look straight ahead, what's in front of you. Because I think those will be the things that you'll remember the most. Be present, enjoy the ride, stay safe, and congratulations again.
Hey man, Coach Bill Self here. Just want to welcome everyone back on campus to the University of Kansas, especially all you fraternity members out there that are getting ready to experience some of the greatest times of your life. Make lifelong friendships, unbelievable contacts. I know I'm envious. Unfortunately, I wasn't cool enough to be in a frat at Oklahoma State, so I was I guess we called it a GDI back in the day. But I just want to wish you the best. Have a great time. Be safe.
Good evening, men. Welcome to Lawrence. I'm Paul Streppel. I'm one of the orthopedic surgeons over here at KU Health System in Kansas City. I'm the head orthopedic surgeon for the Kansas City Chiefs and a Fight Health alum. Welcome. I think you guys make great decisions. I hope you're all happy to be here and excited about the next 4 years ahead of you, or 5 potentially. I think you're going to find the Greek system at KU affords you a lot of opportunities to build great friendships with your brothers in your house and even beyond your house. Gives you excellent opportunities to be involved in the community and find leadership opportunities within the Greek system and on the campus. So I hope you guys cherish the opportunity, embrace it, and I really hope you enjoy your time in Lawrence. Good luck.
That's some welcome messages from some faces you probably recognize, all of whom are Greek alum from the University of Kansas. You are about to embark on a 4-year adventure where you will make some of the best friends of your lives, as they've noticed or stated to you. And we call this program Building Brothers because that's what you will be doing. You are building a brotherhood, not only within your own house, you new members, you freshmen coming into the houses for the first time, you will be building those relationships with each other, with the upperclassmen in your houses, with the alumni from your houses, and the Greek system in a larger sense. All of you are brothers who have decided to join a house, regardless of which house that is. So as part of that, we want to point some things out for you guys to keep in mind. Not only the great fun you're going to have, not only the great friendships that you'll make, the networking possibilities that are out there. In a few years, you'll be thinking about that as you're looking for your jobs when you graduate. What does the fraternity system have to offer? At least what has it offered up to this point? And we will show you a couple slides here. Been some great success at KU with the fraternities in recent years. And as you can see from this information, last spring, for the data most recently available, the average GPA among the 11 KIFL member fraternities was 3.35. And this exceeded all undergraduate men, regardless of whether they were in fraternities or not, which was 3.2. And then also the university average of men and women combined of 3.3. So all of your upperclassmen in the houses that you're in performed better than the campus as a whole. And that's broken down. 9 of the 11 KIFL houses had GPAs higher than 3.3s last spring, and 10 of the 11 KIFL houses exceeded the all undergraduate men's GPA of 3.2. And we've tracked this data for a number of years. Over the last 5 years or 10 academic semesters, the average among the KIFL fraternity houses GPA was 3.27, whereas the all undergraduate men average on campus has been 3.08. So as you can see, KIFL members in the larger housed fraternities perform better academically than do anybody else on campus, taken as a whole. These graphs kind of show that there's KIFL, 3.35 last spring, all men on campus, and then the university as a whole. And then this shows the KIFL house, 9 of 11 KIFL houses at 3.3, 10 of the 11 KIFL houses at 3.2, and the university men's undergrad, a little less than that. Also, in terms of academics, probably the biggest statistic that universities are concerned about is what's called retention. What that means are students who return to KU after their freshman year. They want to get kids to come back. What we know is that looking at the data, non-Greek freshman males who come to KU in 2019, so a couple years ago, last year was a little bit of a weird year with COVID, so the data is better from 2019, but 83% came back to KU after their first year. That means 17% of kids did not return who didn't live in fraternities. If you look at that number for Greek freshmen that lived in non-KIFL fraternities, keeping in mind that a lot of those are unhoused, rate was about the same, 84%. So 16% of those kids that joined fraternities that aren't of the 11 KIFL houses, 16% of them didn't come back. But when you look at your houses, KIFL fraternity freshmen came back at 95%. That means that only 5% of them didn't return. That's a hugely important number and something to be very proud of. And when you think about it, well, we'll talk about the implications here in just a second. So the attrition rate in terms of students that didn't come back, at least for males, 2 years ago, whether Greek or not, was about 3 times higher than for KIFL fraternity freshmen. So you're much more likely, having made the decision that you did to live in a fraternity, to have a successful and consistent academic career at KU. Graduation figures are astounding. the 4-year graduation rate for the class that just graduated in 2021, those were kids that were freshmen back in 2016, was only 46%. So less than half of the non-Greek males that came to KU graduated in 4 years. The 4-year graduation rate for people who joined other fraternities besides Kippel fraternities was 55%. So it was a little bit better, but still barely more than half. But the 4-year graduation rate for those students, those men that joined Kippel fraternities back in 2016 and graduated last year, almost 70% graduated in 4 years. So think about the cost savings with tuition, room and board, getting on with your life. You are much more likely, statistically speaking, to graduate in 4 years and move on and get your careers going if you're in a Kippel fraternity. Now, we say all this, and again, the reasons that I alluded to earlier, I mean, it's pretty obvious. You've got a group of people that you've got built-in mentors in your house. Your older brothers can guide you with classes, professors. There are grade requirements for you to meet to maintain your good standing in the houses. And all those things come together to show that people in our houses, in the Kippel houses, perform better academically, they graduate faster, and they come back to school to finish at a much higher rate than your fellow students, male students that come to the University of Kansas. So if you've been questioning your decision at all, or if you want to be able to tell your parents or friends what kind of an experience that you can expect to have, this data might come in handy. And it certainly is something that we want to see continue. So we challenge all of you, have a great time, have a lot of fun, but please keep these numbers up and pay attention to your studies and the reason that you're at KU. I'm going to shift gears a little bit. Every year we cover a couple of legal issues for the incoming freshmen. If you take nothing else away from this presentation tonight, this is what we want you to remember, because at so many other schools where there's been a problem with fraternity members who have had an issue with alcohol, someone's been overserved, folks leave them because they're afraid they're going to get in trouble if they report it. The state of Kansas has a statute that immunizes you from criminal prosecution for any charges of minor in possession of alcohol. There are some requirements, though, and you need to be aware of what those are. So you are immune from prosecution for minor in possession under the following circumstances. First, if you initiate contact with law enforcement or emergency medical services and you request medical assistance for yourself or another person. So it can be you, if you're feeling like something bad's happened, you're on the edge, you need help, or that you see something's wrong with somebody else because you reasonably believe that such person is in need of medical assistance. So that's the first requirement. Second, you have to cooperate with the emergency medical services personnel and law enforcement that show up to give aid to that person, whether it's yourself or someone else, including providing full names and other relevant information requested by law enforcement. And third, you have to remain at the scene with the person who's having a problem until emergency medical services personnel and law enforcement officers arrive. So you can't just call it in. You can't just tweet to Lawrence PD that you see somebody or that you know of somebody. You can't just dump somebody off at the emergency room. You've got to stay. And of course, the reason for that's pretty clear. If law enforcement or medical personnel have questions about what the person took, how much they drank, it's helpful to have somebody that knows that information to help save their lives in some cases. So when you're talking about building brothers and having each other's backs, this is important because sometimes, kids lose sight of the fact that they need to do the right thing, whatever the consequences, if somebody's in trouble from a emergency standpoint. But the state of Kansas has recognized that this gives you a little bit of an incentive. You won't be subject to prosecution if you help stick around, report it, and give information. The last part of this is kind of interesting. So if you were the person who needed medical assistance, but you don't initiate contact with law enforcement or emergency medical services, you're still immune from prosecution for minor in possession if you cooperate with emergency medical services personnel and law enforcement in providing information and medical assistance. So in other words, if you cooperate to the best of your ability, even if you didn't call, they cannot under state law charge you with a crime. So in terms of talking about how much you drank, what you drank, things like that, this statute will protect you. So we want to keep everybody safe. We know realistically that things can get out of hand. We, of course, don't want that to happen, but in the event that it does, look out for each other and know that if you stick around, give information, give aid, you won't be prosecuted for a criminal charge yourself for minor in possession. Finally, there's been some changes in the city of Lawrence in the last few years. A municipal ordinance regarding marijuana possession and its penalties has changed. And what everybody needs to know is that the city of Lawrence is somewhat of a liberal jurisdiction in terms of marijuana enforcement or possession of marijuana. The city ordinance currently allows for, if somebody is convicted of possession of marijuana and they're 18 years of age or older, and they're found to have been in possession of a small quantity. Now, a small quantity of marijuana is defined in the ordinance as 32 grams or less. So this is not somebody with, a huge amount that's selling or distributing or whatever, but personal use amount. There's a presumption that the judge will only impose a $1 fine. Now, there are other costs that can be assessed in the court costs, laboratory fees, cost of any drug evaluation ordered by the court. But essentially, there's the presumption is for no jail time and for a very minimal fine. Keep in mind, however, that these are misdemeanor level convictions. So they will be on your criminal history if you plead guilty. Some folks on a first time offense like to apply for what's called diversion. Diversion is a program the court offers that the conviction doesn't show up on your record so that the misdemeanor conviction isn't there, but it's always going to be there for law enforcement purposes. So, and it can be very expensive. So a lot of folks don't opt for that. That's a decision that you'd need to make with your parents and an attorney. This statute, or this ordinance rather, only applies to first and second offenses in the city of Lawrence. So you get two strikes. You get that presumption that the $1 fine is all that will apply as your first and second offense. But what is important for all of you to know, this doesn't apply anywhere else in the state. You go home to Olathe, you go home to Great Bend, wherever it is, out of state, you're going to be governed by the laws of those cities and those counties, which could be different from Lawrence. And regardless of where you are in the state of Kansas, whether it's in the city of Lawrence or anywhere else, a third possession offense is under state law always prosecuted as a felony. So that's no joke. That class 5 drug felony can lead up to 42 months in prison and be subject to a maximum fine of $100,000. We break this out and point it out because in recent years, again, the law has changed in Lawrence. We want you to be aware of it. But also importantly, remember, pot is not legal in the state of Kansas, medically or recreationally. And whether you're in Colorado doing it, whether you're in Missouri with a medical card, you bring anything into Kansas and you get caught, you're going to be subject to these laws. Lawrence, again, is pretty liberal, but you get 2 strikes at that. And after that, anything is treated like a felony. So we wanted to clear that up and let you guys know how to handle yourselves accordingly. So that's all we're going to cover on the grades, the retention, the graduation, a couple legal points. Again, remember, if nothing else, the immunity from prosecution. If you stay and help somebody that's having a problem and report it. And with that, we're going to go into our keynote section of the evening. I'm going to introduce Jared Goff. Jared is a Delta Chi alumni from the University of Kansas. He is currently the Associate General Counsel over at Garmin, and has done very well and made a nice career for himself. And so without further ado, I'm going to introduce Jared Goff to share a few words with you, and then introduce our keynote speaker tonight.
Gentlemen, welcome to the next chapter of your life. You're going to have some amazing experiences at KU, and entering the Greek system is a great decision. It's a decision that I made coming from a small town in western Kansas, Dodge City, and having the structure that was there for me and meeting my pledge brothers and other people in the fraternity, upperclassmen, was an experience unlike any other. We forged amazing bonds with each other. My pledge brothers and I are still good friends to this very day. I know some of you may have thought that you were going to be hearing from a quarterback for the Detroit Lions. Unfortunately, what you're getting is an attorney from Kansas City who is not at all famous. So hopefully you weren't too upset about that. But in any event, you're going to have a wonderful time. You're going to have a great experience. Focus on, balancing out the fun, which there will be plenty of, with the work. Please make sure that you're safe, be smart, and rock chalk. And at this point in time, I'd like to go ahead and pass this on to my brother, University of Kansas Athletic Director, Travis Goff. Thank you.
Hey, Jayhawks, really appreciate the opportunity to spend some time with you today. I'm honored and humbled to have been invited to speak to this Building Brothers Fraternity event at the University of Kansas, a place that I'm so proud to have an opportunity to represent now as the Director of Athletics, just 4.5 months or so into my new tenure back here in Lawrence. I'm a Jayhawk through and through. I'm born and raised in Dodge City in Southwest Kansas, grew up in a KU family. It was all I knew, crimson and blue runs in my blood and runs in my family. And to have had the opportunity in 1998 as a naive and, maybe not completely focused young guy to show up at KU, to have had an opportunity to join Delta Chi that fall, where my older brother was a member, Jared. And, I'd already seen through him with some opportunities, the exceptional experience and benefit that fraternities can provide. So I was excited. I knew it would be an opportunity to meet a great group of young guys who are also going to be going through the same journey or a similar journey that I would experience over the course of my time at KU. And I also knew that I would be meeting lifelong friends. Again, young guys that would grow into men that would be along life's journey with me. And sure enough, 20 some years later, as I now sit in this role, my best friends in life are my fraternity brothers from my time at KU and my time in Delta Chi. So I think so fondly of that experience. And I just wanted to share a little bit of some of my thoughts about maybe kind of maximizing your time, maybe some perspective, some things I learned along the way. And so thanks for letting me jump into that here this morning. As I entered the fall of 1998, again, I didn't have a whole lot of clarity about what I was trying to achieve through my membership in Delta Chi and be a part of that. But I did know that I wanted to, again, meet and get to know new people and certainly experience the social elements of KU. Had a lot of fun doing that. But it took me some time, which I think is a normal, trajectory, a normal path. It takes some time to fully grasp what those opportunities look like. Very few show up with an understanding of that. And my journey was no different. It probably wasn't until my junior year at KU that I fully recognized, and maybe it wasn't even fully, but to some extent recognized that if I didn't start to take advantage of the opportunities, provided me and in front of me at KU and as a member of Delta Chi, then I wouldn't emerge as an alum, as a graduate, as positioned as I could possibly be for life after KU and life after my college experience. So I'm thankful that that light helped, that light came on at that moment. And frankly, my experience at Delta Chi helped really force that light to come on. I, kind of informally was a leader at the university in my fraternity, and that wasn't always clear to me how I wanted to utilize my leadership abilities or the opportunities provided me to help influence my friends, my fraternity brothers, and in my fraternity in large. But I did, throughout multiple experiences, take advantage of that, and I'm so thankful I did, because by the time I was an upperclassman, starting to think more clearly and more focused about career, about life after KU, I had helped mold myself through those experiences in the fraternity. So I'm thankful that I took advantage of those opportunities as a younger person that were provided me. I did that, through obviously intramural, not just as a participant, but I helped coach our teams. I enjoyed that. I had an injury my sophomore year, tore my ACL, probably wasn't good enough to be one of the better players at the fraternity, but I used that as a chance to coach the team. We won the Hill in basketball and have a great memory from coaching that team in Allen Fieldhouse. So that was an example of a leadership opportunity. And then a lot of my impact was made, without a title, so to speak. I took some pride in making sure that we had the right values in Delta Chi, and we didn't always get that right. And that was an evolution and a process and a journey for us individually. And certainly it was for my pledge class and the chapter at large. But I did take some pride and some ownership in helping set the right value system, helping make sure we had young men of character, of integrity, who really wanted to grow and develop in that space, and who, at times made the wrong decisions, but tried to learn from those. And I was, somebody that was willing, comfortable, confident enough to step into those learnings and help both lead by example, but also speak up when we weren't necessarily going about things in the right manner. So that was, to me, a foundational element and something I apply each and every day of my life. And I'm so thankful to have had that experience over my time. Here's a couple comments that I want to just, jump into here. Leadership opportunities, they're immense. And you don't have to be a vocal leader. You don't have to be a profound leader, so to speak, the ones you read about, or the historical figures that you can, find and study and research. There are ways to create leadership and demonstrate leadership that are, in a lower profile manner. And I get to see that as an athletic director every day with our student athletes. Not all of them are vocal and out in front. They can be further behind in terms of the team dynamics. And that's a really special thing to realize. So be a leader in whatever way suits you. Make sure you're going through a process of character development. My guess is that all of you, if not the vast majority of you, are really impressive young men who have the right character, the right integrity, show, either arriving here at KU or having been here over some years. Continue that journey, sharpen your character, sharpen your value system, and embrace that opportunity that's provided. And, help others along that journey as well. Help them become better people. I just think that should be a tenet of our society, is lifting up others, being an example to others. And frankly speaking, calling your brothers out when they're not doing things the right way. Make no mistake, it will have an impact on the rest of your life. There's no debating. If I had missteps over my time at KU, I wouldn't be in this role. I would not have had the opportunity to come back and serve the University of Kansas as the director of athletics. That doesn't mean I got it all right along the way, but by and large, and certainly where and when it mattered most, I did the right thing. I put myself around people and men and friends who are also, by and large, doing the right thing. And that will carry you forward and propel you in life after KU. The alternative, of course, is it can really pull you backward. And I think we've all seen that. So I really, can't emphasize how much those decisions matter. And you're at your time, and they will for the rest of your life. Expand your horizons. And that doesn't always happen naturally or easy. And it can be easy to kind of get into a silo in your own fraternity. And I did some of that. My first, especially 2.5 years, I did that. It wasn't until I started working as a student here in the athletic department. And frankly, it wasn't until I really immersed myself in the journalism school that I expanded my horizons, my community outside of Delta Chi. And that was really good for me. Part of that is, embracing diversity. Sometimes in the Greek system, diversity doesn't always show itself or present itself. And I just think that's our society. And the more often you immerse yourself in a diverse community, and diversity comes in so many different ways. That can be socioeconomic, that can be where people come from, religious, political, all of those aspects. Certainly race is an important part of it, and culture is a critical part of it, but embrace diversity. Make sure you grow and experience that during your time at KU, because the rest of your life will be impacted and should be impacted in a very positive way when you think about diversity and having the right kind of mindset and open-mindedness as you go on your life's journey. Support each other, again, lift each other up. Mental health is a real factor in life, period. And it certainly is at college campuses across the country. And very few are immune to some of the challenges that mental health can create at times in our lives. And so I would just encourage and implore you to be open to that and share with each other, help each other, and then, go and get some help when and where needed, because again, that's just something that so many, and frankly, probably a majority of folks will have to experience and should experience at times in their life to help that development along the way. In the Greek community, your experiences, your stories can be magnified. Let's magnify those in a real positive light. There's so many great stories of what the Greek community and the fraternity community is doing to make an impact, giving back in the community, and service to the university. Let's make sure those are the stories that are being told, and not some of the other stories that have maybe at times plagued, fraternity life and or Greek life on college campuses. So let's elevate those and let's be active participants in that. And again, just don't underestimate the impact you can have at KU and on others. That's just an exceptional opportunity that you've been provided. So let me close that segment and I want to rattle off 5 things, 5 kind of key points that I'm talking about with our staff and with our student athletes over here in athletics. I wanted to share that and give you guys some insight into some of the things we're talking about. Number 1, integrity wins every time. It just does. So do the right thing. And none of us get that right all the time. But if you lead with integrity, it's going to carry you a long way in your life. Number 2, take care of yourself and what I call your teammates. Your teammates are your brothers, your pledge class, your friends, fellow students. Take care of yourself first and foremost with self-care, but also take care of those around you with support and have some accountability as well. Let's be selfless, right? Let's be selfless. Put your brothers, your friends, your fraternity, the broader KU community before your own self-interest. That's an attribute that will really, again, show itself and carry you a long way. Strive for excellence. Number 4, develop in every facet of your life. Be open to growth, have a growth mindset, and strive for excellence in all that you achieve, including certainly in the classroom and in your academics. And then number 5, in sometimes a tough society out there, let's seek optimism, right? Envision a better future state, whether it be related to the pandemic or challenges you or your family might be facing. Seek optimism and be resilient in the face of adversity. That was number 5. So I just hope those 5 points can maybe stay with you as I close that segment. Let me quickly talk about athletics here at KU. I think most, if not all of you, love that aspect of being a University of Kansas student, that this is big time athletics. This is the highest level of competition. We have some of the most exceptional men and women in our student athlete ranks as anyone in the country. The success of our basketball program has been well documented. I know I'll see so many of you in Allen Fieldhouse this late fall, winter. But prior to that, I've got an important assignment for you. We need your help in athletics. It is time for us to build a football program that all Jayhawks will be proud of. And as a student here and as a leader, in your fraternities and in Greek life, you've got a chance to make an incredible impact. You've got a chance to be part of this build at KU under our new coach, Lance Leipold. So I'm just asking you to come out, first game, September 3rd. It's a Friday night under the lights. No reason you shouldn't be out there at David Booth, Kansas Memorial Stadium, supporting your fellow classmates who are out there on the field, all in on building something special. And it's going to take some time. There's no debate. But we've got the right head coach. We've got a great group of young men who are committed to KU, working hard to build this thing in a way. And my, I hope, commitment that I can execute is if you're going to be at KU over the next 1, 2, 3, 4 years, you're going to see the growth and development of a football program that as an alum, you're going to want to be part of and be proud of as you continue your journey in life. So come out this fall, support these guys, support the rest of our teams, and hey, get to know our student athletes, embrace those opportunities as well. I appreciate everything you do for KU. I'm looking forward to meeting so many of you on campus and at our events, and rock chalk.
Thanks to Travis. He made some great points, things that we always try to emphasize as we go through building brothers. Look out for each other. If you see somebody's not acting right, somebody's down, reach out to them. Be a friend, be a brother. Sometimes they may be having more trouble than you can guess, and you never know what those small gestures can accomplish. Be a leader. Be a positive role model, not just in your pledge class, but also in your house and for the Greek community as a whole. One thing I remember being told years and years ago when I first was sworn in to be an attorney, the judge who administered the oath said, "You're all coming in here with a perfect reputation, and all it takes is one careless or bad act, and you'll be struggling to regain that reputation for the rest of your career." And the same thing applies to you guys. You're all brand new. You're all here with a great reputation. You've seen what these houses can do, what they've done in the past academically. And believe me, it's harder to get a story out about what's good and right with fraternities than a story about what's wrong and some kind of bad behavior or bad act. So preserve those reputations, look out for each other. Take advantage of those leadership roles, whether that's a leadership role in your house, with an organization on campus. Be a good ambassador for the Greek community. And we really encourage you who are so inclined to become involved with the Student Senate, with the IFC. Take advantage of those opportunities, get involved, and work on behalf of the Greek community to have those opportunities that can help your brothers. I appreciate your attention tonight. We are so glad to have you in our houses. We wish you the best. Any questions, any issues come up, there are plenty of alumni out there and plenty of upperclassmen who can provide support and provide answers. I would encourage you to reach out to your house presidents if you ever need anything, and they can direct you to the right folks that can help you out. So rock chalk. Welcome to KU, and we're looking forward to continual good things from all of you, and enjoy your freshman year.